As we talk about impossible, because I know we'll use this word a lot. You've differentiated impossible with a capital I from impossible with a
I do.
lowercase I. So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, and they're linked. We've been talking with the athletes. That was impossible with a capital I, right? This stuff had never been done before, and suddenly it was being done. I always say that the road to capital, nobody sets out to accomplish capital I impossible. I've met very few people that do. Usually what they do is they go after small I impossible, which is those things that we think are impossible for ourselves, right? I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I always say that one example of this is I wanted to be a writer since I was very young. I didn't know any writers. Like Cleveland, Ohio was a like blue collar steel mill town when I was growing up there. I didn't know how to become a writer. I didn't like there was no path. There was no clear path between point A where I was and point B where I wanted to go. And statistically, shitty odds of success. Right? That's a small I impossible. Other examples: rising out of poverty, overcoming trauma. Right? Significant trauma. Um, Being an entrepreneur, starting a business. These are all versions of capital of small I impossible, and they're linked. And because I always say that, like, take an ordinary person, put them on a path to use the tools of peak performance to accomplish capital I impossible, and as soon as you do one, right? Anybody who's had a little bit of success knows this. You're like, oh shit. I did that. What else can I do? And you go after another, and you go after another, and what else can I do? And what else can I do? And over time, this is how you end up accomplishing capital I impossible. It's just something that happens on the path. It's not, and it's often very funny because I mean sometimes in science or technology, like I was at the launch when the first private spaceship, the X Prize, was launched. Right, that was an impossible that took forever, you know what I mean? And you could put it on the calendar. And Peter Diamandis said, but like nobody knew exactly when it was going to be won. We knew it was going to be won, and it was going to be some point. Same thing with like you go into the backcountry with folks. Every now and again, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, today's the day I'm going to jump this or do this." But often they're just doing what they do, and like impossible is what happens along the way.